Good evening, Mr. Nuhu, and all who will be watching this video. This video is focused on how to register new IBOs, new independent business owners on the Pure platform, the international Pure platform. So here I have just logged into my account, and there are about three ways to get to the registration page. About that, and I would say there are about two major ways to register people. If I click, if I right click on this link here, enrollment, I get to a registration page. I've clicked to open it in a new tab. So it's opening in a new tab. So it has opened. The country here is Nigeria, but I can choose any country. So in other words, I can choose if I have somebody in Canada who wants to get registered, I can choose Canada. If I have someone in Australia who wants to get registered, I can choose Australia. If I have someone in South Africa that wants to get registered, I can choose South Africa or Ghana, as the case may be. If you want to choose South Africa, do not choose South Africa inactive. Choose South Africa without the inactive, and then choose, and then that's it. So in this case, I'm registering an account in Ghana. So I'm going to choose Ghana, and I'll click on New IBO. Now I have clicked on New IBO. I can see two things. Here it says sponsor information. So if I am the sponsor, my name comes right there. In fact, because I'm logged into my account, it assumes I am the sponsor. But if I'm not the sponsor and someone else is the sponsor, I can type the person's first name here, and the full name comes up, and I can specify that this person is the sponsor. In this case, I am not the sponsor, and Mr. Nuhu is the sponsor. When it comes to the placement information, this has to do with under whom should this person be placed. Because you see, Mr. Nuhu may already have somebody on his left and somebody on his right. So he may want to place this new registrant. He may want to place this new registrant under one of the people on his left or one of the people on his right, because it's a binary system and you cannot have more than two people directly under you. So this is what this is for. And there's somebody already under Mr. Nuhu. So Mr. Nuhu is going to type the first name. You see, before you even finish typing it, the platform suggests, and it suggested correctly. So this person is under Mr. Nuhu. So he's going to choose this person. You see? And now this person has a left leg and a right leg. So he has to choose, or I have to choose, because I'm doing it this time. I have to choose where I want this person to be. Do I want him to be under Nkeli's left or under Nkeli's right? Do I want him to be on Nkeli's left or on Nkeli's right? So in this case, we want him to be on Nkeli's right. So we choose bottom right, and then we click on this button to start the enrollment process. In other words, to fill the form, the details of this new person we want to register. However, if we don't want to do that, we can simply click on this button that says get enrollment link while we have filled this information here, and When we click on it, a link appears. This link we can send to the person who wants to register so that the person registers himself. When we send this link to the person to register, everything falls in completely. It falls in perfectly. The sponsor is correct. The position is also correct as we have selected it here. So because it's the first time people are getting registered or it's the first time people are getting involved in the business, you may not want to give them the link. You may or may not want to give them the link to register because they may get stuck somewhere, you know. But it's left to your own discretion. It's left to you to decide. But you can very well give them this link, and they will go through the registration process, and everything will be perfect. So this is a way to get registered. Now let me show you the other way to get your downlines and your new business people registered in this business. So remember, this is what you see when you log into your account. So what you need to do is you need to click on my business. When you hover over my business, don't click on it. You get to click on graphical genealogy, and as you click on graphical genealogy, this is what you see. Now this is my binary tree. This is my binary tree. There is a sorry, I'm getting it wrong. Unitary tree, I think that's what it's called. I think that's, let me just check exactly what it is. Okay, it's called a sponsor tree, but there's another name for it, which you'll find on the platform later. So this is the binary tree, and this is my tree. But you see, the tree is a bit big, and this is where this part stops. It stops here not because the tree stops there. It stops there because the screen is not large enough. So I have to click on this plus sign so that it can be extended. I'm doing this because I want to go deep all the way to the point where I find the person under whom I want to register this new registrant. This person is going to be registered under Mr. Nuhu and placed under somebody under Mr. Nuhu. So I want to get to that point where I get to see Mr. Nuhu's account and I get to see the person under him whom I want to register. So I clicked on that plus sign and the tree expanded. The tree expanded, and this is a new interface. With this interface, the words are not so clear. They're not so clear. The words are a bit tiny. I can maximize, of course, but it's a little bit strenuous. So the tree goes all the way down still. So I'm going to click on this plus sign here to expand it once more. And it has expanded again. I drag it to the middle and we're exactly where we want to be. So this is Mr. Nkeli Lochesa. He's South African. This is Mr. Solomon. Yep. Now, under everyone that's registered, you can see something that says left available. And here you can see there's somebody there already. But this guy has no one under him. So you have left available and right available. So in other words, you have available left, available right. So if I click on this guy, what happens is that, let me click on him. You see, what happens is this dialog box pops up and asks me if I want to enroll a new IBO in this position. When I say yes, this is what happens. When I say yes, that enrollment page is what opens up. The enrollment page opens up, and you can see parameters are already here saying place it on the right leg of whoever has this IBO number. So I click on new IBO. I'm assuming Nigeria is the country, but it's actually Ghana. And I get to this page. So you see that automatically I'm the sponsor here. Mr. Iloka Solomon is the placement, and the bottom right of Mr. Iloka Solomon is where this new person is going to be placed, because that's what we clicked on. We clicked on the bottom right space available. You see, so that is the other way to do this. If I click on start enrollment, the form page will evolve, and I'll be able to enter this new guy's details. You get, and just like in the previous demonstration, I can decide not to place this person under me, because really I'm not the sponsor. I'm not the person who brought him into the business. Mr. Nuhu did. So because Mr. Nuhu did, I can type Mr. Nuhu's name there, and sure enough, the platform brings it up for me, and I can now specify who it is under. And just like before, I can get an enrollment link and send it to him, to the person to register himself, or to my staff to register this person. So that is it. Now let us go to a third way, to get this done. So you remember that in the just concluded demonstration, what happened was we had to scroll all the way down to look for the person we want to register this new registrant under, and that can be cumbersome because the tree can go all the way down. This tree is not bad, but it's not even as big as it will become when your business grows, and you want your business to grow, so it's going to become cumbersome. Therefore, this search bar has been placed here to make it easy for us. I know that Mr. Nuhu is the sponsor, so I'm going to type his name in here so that I can see his tree. And so I click on it, and sure enough, his tree pops out. His tree pops out. So because his tree has popped out, I can see his left and right position. If I want to register someone here, I'll just simply click on this, and that dialog box pops up again. You know, I'm going to click on cancel. I'm going to click on cancel now. I can do the same thing for Nkele Lekesa. Truth of the matter is that this space is available. I can decide to register this person here and still eventually specify that Mr. Nuhu is the direct sponsor, the person who is directly referring him. I can do that, but this is where I want to go. So I simply click here and do the registration. Now let us say this tree was a whole lot bigger. What I would do is I would type the name of someone I know is far down in Mr. Nuhu's tree so that I can just get to that person and be very, very close to um, the person I want to register under. Or if I know the person's name, or Mr. Nuhu gives me his name, I can simply type his name in there. For example, if I knew I needed to register under Mr. Iloka Solomon, I wouldn't have had to type Mr. Nuhu's name in the beginning. What I would have done here was I would have simply typed Iloka right from the beginning, and I'll get here because I already know it's somebody called Iloka under Mr. Nuhu I want to register this new person under. So sure enough, I am right here. I'm at Mr. Iloka's structure at the very start of his tree, and there are only two available spaces, and it's on the right I want to register this new person. So I'm going to click on this position and I'm going to click on yes, and a new tab opens and we have the registration page, and I can just proceed from here. So that's what I'm doing. I'm proceeding from here. I'm choosing the right country, Ghana, and I'm going to fill the information in the form that shows up in the proceeding page after I have clicked on the new IBO button here. So I am here, and if I was the sponsor, if I was the direct sponsor, this would be okay, but I'm not. I'm Mr. Nuhu is, so I'm typing his name in there, and that's it. His name has popped out, and I'm choosing him as the actual sponsor, the one responsible for the sale, and the placement is on the placement will be, it's going to be placed under Iloka, and it's going to be placed in the bottom right. And so I'll click on start enrollment. So that's it. Now I'm going to fill up all of this. I'm going to fill up all of this, and when I get to this point, well, thank God it's already selected that shipping address should be the same as billing address. That saves me the trouble of having to fill in a new address, a new set of fields for a shipping address. So that's a good thing. So you leave it that way if the shipping address is the same as the billing address, which is many times the situation. And because of the way the business is in Africa, we are not really paying online. We are paying into the company's bank account, and then they give us our product at the stockist center that is in our city. We go there and pick up our products. So it's good to leave it like this: shipping address same as billing address. And then when you are registering someone, it's always good to use 12345 for the password, and so you can never forget what the password is. They can change it when um, they have logged into their account. So that's it. I'm just going to pause the video until I have put in all the information here correctly, and hit the continue button. So I have finished filling in the information, and what I need to do next is to click and agree that I am of legal age in the state and jurisdiction in which I reside, and all whatnot. Just agree. I'll check the box to agree, then I'll click on continue. So here I can see things I can add to my cart and all that. What I'm going to do is I am going to click on continue without order, because that's what I can do. You know, you can always come back and place an order after completing the enrollment process. And for lots of countries in Africa, the main countries being Nigeria right now and Ghana, um, we usually just pay into the company's account and then pick up our products at the local stockists. So we can continue without placing an order. By the way, Kenya has just opened, South Africa has just opened, Cameroon has opened massively thanks to the good work of Dorel Kojo, the money mentor. So, so it says here continue without auto-ship, and I'll click on that too. Auto-ship is the renewal process. That is when you want to reorder. Let's say you finish your first set of products and you feel you want a few more, you want the daily build, you know, that process of getting extra products is called auto ship. So please bear with me. The dogs are back in. These are neighborhood dogs, and it's late in the night when I'm recording this, and we don't know what these dogs see, and they back sometimes. So it's a good thing to have them there anyway. So let's proceed. Now you simply click on submit. We are almost at the end, very close to the very end. You click on submit, and we are done. We are done. A new IBO has been registered, and that's his um, that's his IBO number, his ID, and this is the person who brought him into the business. He's actually going to be a representative of the company not really a representative of the company, he's going to be an independent business owner partnering with the company in his region of Ghana. So that is it. I hope to make other videos where necessary and send out to us to make our job easier and to make the process and the growth fluid down the line. So this is an international business, and imagine that when I want to register someone in another country, or someone in another country is in my team, when he wants to get people on board the system, he has to reach out to me. That's not very fantastic. Everybody should know how to get their people registered. You know, if I didn't learn, it means, hey, somebody wants to register in another country, they'll get to me, then I'll get to someone else. So that is putting um, a spanner in the works of your growth. It's putting a cog in your wheels. So that's why I'm making this video and sending it out to you, and then you in turn will give it to your team members so that they can easily get people on board when they want to get on board, and we'll see the duplication that makes success possible in this business. And fluid growth, that's what we experience, fluid growth. So that's the idea. So I'm going to see you in another video when I spot something that is important to register, to record, sorry. When I spot something that's important to record, I'll record it and I'll share it. Then we just keep on sharing and building our team and helping ourselves with sales and distribution across the country and across international borders too.